Hey everyone, in this lesson we're going to go through how to find the volume of pyramids with given slant heights. So in some situations when calculating the volume of pyramids, you may get the slant height instead of the perpendicular height. So if we remember from the previous video, the volume of a pyramid was equal to 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. This height needs to be the perpendicular height, which is the one that is from the base to the top. So it's this one here. I'll just highlight it in pink. Okay, it's that one there. Okay, but what happens when you're given the slant height, which is this one highlighted in green? Well, what you need to do is you need to follow these steps right here. Okay, so you need to find the perpendicular height by using Pythagoras theorem. So you need to use this right angle triangle here, where the slant height is the hypotenuse and the height is the shorter side. Oh, sorry, you need to use the one at the bottom, so which is half this distance. Half the base of the square or rectangle or triangle, and then you find out the height by using Pythagoras theorem. Okay, we're going to go through an example just to show you how that works, and then you have to follow the main steps of finding the volume of a pyramid. So you need to find the area of the base, and then you need to find the volume using both the perpendicular height and the area of the base. Okay, so let's have a go at an example. So in this example, we need to find the volume of the square pyramid with the base edge of 64 millimeters and a slant height of 40 millimeters. Okay, so as you can see, the base edges of 64 are this part here, these two here, and then the slant height is this one here, so it goes all the way down like this. Okay, and what we need to find is we need to find the perpendicular height, which is this section here, okay, by using the triangle. So I'm going to redraw this triangle. Okay, so I'm going to redraw it. There's one line, there's two lines, there's a second line. So the slant height is 40 millimeters. The height, the perpendicular height is here, and the base length is actually half of the entire rectangle. I mean the entire square. So it's from here to here, and half of 64 is 32. So we're going to do 32 millimeters here. So let's do our steps. So step 1, find perpendicular height. Okay, by using Pythagoras theorem. So by using Pythagoras theorem, we have 40 squared equals h squared plus 32 squared. Let's make h the subject by minusing 32 squared on both sides. So we have h squared equals 40 squared minus 32 squared. 40 squared minus 32 squared is 576 in the calculator. And don't forget to square root that to get the final perpendicular height, which is 24 millimeters. Okay, so that's our perpendicular height. Okay, step 2 is to find the area. Find the area of base. Okay, so the base is a square. So the area of a square is the sides squared. So it is 64 squared, which is 4,096 millimeters squared, because we're dealing with area. Okay, then our last step I'm going to put over here. Step 3, find the volume. So the volume is of a pyramid is volume equals 1/3, a third, times the area of the base times the height. Now, the area of the base, let's put that in green, is from our previous question. That's this one here. Okay, and then our perpendicular height is what we did in the first step. Okay, so let's replace those. So it's going to be 1/3 times 4096 times 24. And what you get is 32,768 millimeters cubed. Okay, don't forget that volume is in millimeters cubed, area is millimeters squared, and height is a length, so it is millimeters only. Okay, so that's the final answer for that one. Pause the video if you wish to write down any notes for that. Okay, so let's do another example. So this one looks slightly more complicated, but it has all of the information in the question. So, find the volume of the pyramid with the front base edge of 64. So let's highlight that. Front base edge of 64. So that is this way. Okay, so the diagram that's given to us has actually broken it up into halves for us, which is very helpful. And then we've got the side base edge is 22 centimeters. So side edge is this section here. Okay, it's broken it up into 11 millimeters and the other 11 millimeters for us, so that helps a lot. And then we've got a front slant height of 64 millimeters. So this slant height here is 61 millimeters. And then lastly, I'm going to highlight it in purple, we have the side slant height of 68. Okay, so side slant height of 68 is this part here. Okay, so in this question, we still don't have the perpendicular height, which I'm going to highlight in blue. Okay, that's this section here. So we first need to find that. Okay, so step 1. Find perpendicular height. Okay, so to make things easier, I'm going to draw one of the two right angle triangles. And it's up to you which one you choose. You're going to get the same answer, and I'll prove it to you. I'll do both, but you don't always have to do both. Okay, so let's do the first one. Let's do the front one. Okay, here's a right angle. Can't seem to draw this right angle with that tool. Okay, so I got a right angle. The base of this front one, okay, so we've got, if I highlight it in the same colors, this one is our perpendicular height, which we don't know, that's our H. This one is pink, so let's highlight that in pink, this side here. This is our 61 millimeters. Okay, and now we've got to think, what is our base? Our base is going to be parallel to the side. So our base will actually be green, and it will be 11. Okay, cool. So that is our first triangle. Let's find the perpendicular height using that triangle. So I'm going to go straight into the form where it's h squared as the subject. Okay, so h squared equals the hypotenuse, 61 squared minus the other shorter side. When you put that in the calculator, what you get is 3600, and then you have to square root that to get h, 3600, which equals 60 millimeters. Okay, just to prove to you that this makes the same value as the other triangle on the side, I'm gonna write it up here. Okay, so here's another way you can do it. You do not have to do both. Let me just highlight that again. Okay, so We've got the perpendicular height, which we don't know. We have the slant height, which I'm going to make purple like before. So that's our slant height. That's going to be 68 millimeters. And then our bottom part is actually parallel to the front length. So this bottom part is going to be yellow. It's going to be the 32 millimeters. Okay, so if I do exactly the same thing, I do h squared equals 68 squared minus 32 squared, you'll find that when you put it into the calculator, you get 3600 as well, okay? Which when you square root it, gives you the same value of 60 millimeters. Okay, so that means that you could use either method. This is option 1, and this is option 2. Okay, as long as you use one of the right angle triangles, it gives you the same answer. Okay, so the next step, step 2, okay, is to find the area of the base of the pyramid. Okay, so the area of the base is a rectangle, okay, with side lengths of 22 millimeters and 64. So the area of the base is base times height, which equals 64 times 22, okay, and that equals 1,408 millimeters squared. Okay. Sorry, excuse me. Almost done. All we have to do now is our step 3 by using both step 1 and step 2. So we have to find the volume. Okay, so the volume is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. Okay, so the area of the base, is this part here, and our perpendicular height is this part here, or this one, which are exactly the same. Okay, so let's substitute those values in. So 1/3 times 1408 times 60, and that in the calculator equals 28,160 millimeters cubed. Okay, that's the final answer for example 2. If you wish to write this down in your workbook, please pause the video and write that down. Maybe just write one of these options. Okay, so they're totally up to you which one you want to write down and which one to use in the exercise. Okay, if you have any questions, please go to Jamboard. For this Pythagoras questions, please answer the questions in Google Slides by either typing up your solution, which might take a little while, or by uploading a photo of your working out from your books. Okay, if you have any questions, don't forget Jamboard is open during this time. Okay, good luck.